Hello, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Welcome to the fourth episode of Cricket Spectacle. In cricketing terms, today we are at full strength. Dan the man is back after a short break and he's ready to hit the ball out of the park. Don't you, Dan?
Oh, yeah. I mean,
Well, I'm a little shocked after an opening like that. I'll come out like Dave Warner and probably get a second ball duck. It'd be like Finchy.
we can't have that then. We can't afford to do that.
Well, I'll be like Finchy, run out at the bowlers end after my horrible predictions when, up in smoke. I'm over from two.
Well, at least we have you back, so that's good for the morale of the team.
Yeah. I'm back. I'm bad. You're mad. I'm not. Yeah. So, India versus England again.
Yeah, absolutely. But before we get to that, I just have, a couple of more things to say on this, cricketing conversation. I think Nikhil has also done well so far to hold one end together, while I have tried my best to make sure that my boys stayed disciplined, focused, and consistent in order to increase our fan base. Boys, I hope I've done a good job.
You have. We've gone up from 5 to 6. Like I heard your mum's joined up and she got her sister too and her neighbour. My mum, her neighbour. I'm trying to get wrangle up some of my neighbours as well to start following the show.
Yeah, I've got my neighbor's neighbor as well back home in India as well talking about this. So there's a lot of buzz happening in the streets of my hometown. So yeah,
Pretty soon we'll be
if you guys ever visit there, you're not going to get out. You're going to get mobbed. I'm telling you. Like you guys are celebrities over there probably right now. So.
I'm not sure about myself, but Dan is surely a celebrity in my college, for sure.
I don't have the facial hair like you to be a celebrity. I have no hair. You have more hair on your chin than I do on my head, which is sad for me.
But you do have grace like Kane Williamson, for sure.
Oh, yeah. You make it up with your class, Dan. We need to grow facial hair just to match up and just stay in the game here. So,
well, look at it. You guys too can do the beard. I can't. I just can't do it. I can't even do it on my head. In my mind, I look more like, unfortunately, I've been compared to Nathan Lyon, which is terrible. Like he's.
Oh my God.
If you're compared to Nathan Lyon, that's never a bad thing. That's never a bad thing, Dan.
I mean, absolutely. The best
being compared to the GOAT, like
the GOAT, mate.
Of all time.
I just want the beard. I want to be able to have the beard, so I can just sort of, when I talk cricket, I can sort of say, this guy knows what he's talking.
Like this.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
He knows what he's talking about.
Yeah, that's a good one actually. Need to trademark that actually.
Yeah. Then if you take the glasses off and then you hold the glasses on your end, that's a good cricketing brain amongst him.
Yeah.
See, you've got the Virat beard. Like all great Indian cricketers have the beard.
Yeah, KL Rahul now, Virat Kohli. Yeah. I think that's like the basic eligibility criteria in the team right now. If you can grow a beard, you're probably
apart from the yo-yo test.
That fitness test.
I think it's a fair thing. Like you've got to have facial hair to be in the team. So many years ago, like obviously with Australian fast bowlers, it was all about the mustache.
Oh yeah.
So you had then
the intimidation.
Johnson, Riley Meredith. Mitchell Stark at one point as well.
Mitchell Johnson,
yeah. Johnson had a good mo. He had a scary mo.
He had a scary. Like if he came running towards me and bowling like 140 k's per hour, I would just get out. Like don't hurt me. I'll get
He's
out.
running faster than Jimmy Anderson.
Oh yeah. No, Jimmy Anderson's fine, right? Like you don't get scared of Jimmy Anderson. You get scared of Mitchell Johnson running at you.
Stuart Broad run away. He's a bit soft.
Yeah. You don't get scared of them.
Nikhil is actually underestimating James Anderson here. Perhaps
Nikhil I'm not saying he's a bad bowler.
I'm even wondering, how would it like to have him to face him in the England conditions.
No, I'm not scared of him.
Shocking. Absolutely shocking. Terrible. Can't bowl outside of England.
No. Now he can. Now he very well can.
I'm calling it now. James Anderson, if you're out there somewhere, anywhere, You cannot bowl outside of England. Where were you when your team needed you in India? We look forward to seeing you.
Can't spin the ball as well, just in case we are going there. Couldn't even spin the ball on a spinning pitch, right? Like, if Joe Root can get, 5 wickets and you can't, what are we even doing here?
No.
Yeah.
That's a different conversation now. Okay, guys. Enough
All
of
right.
banter now. Nikhil, I'm
Sorry, James Anderson, in case you're watching. We were
No,
just
don't
kidding.
apologize to him. Hey, don't you never apologize to him. You don't apologize to him.
There is some serious
Yeah, that's
staging
fair.
going on. Seriously, man.
Don't
Okay,
apologize.
guys, let's no, that's fine. Okay, let's
Yeah, we take
start.
back the apology as well. Yeah, I'm not scared of you.
Okay, guys, let's start now. Nikhil, I'm going to come to you. Starting with the India-England T20I series. See, the bowlers from both the sides have had a big role to play in the first 2 games. While England bowlers gave away only 3 sixes in the opening game, the Indian pacers leaked just 35 runs in the last 5 overs of the second game, keeping England's total under 180. Your thoughts on this? And then I'm going to come to Dan for the same question.
Yeah, I think T20, like from personally, I believe that T20 matches are mainly won by bowlers. Like, I get the fact that T20 is a batsman's game and all that, right? Like, you can, like, the thing is that you can count the number of good T20 batsmen in the world, right? And you can make a list, like there's a huge list. Like, people can come swing. If it's your day, you'll win the match, right? Like, that kind of thing. You can't tell me more than 5, maybe, 10 maybe great T20 bowlers, right? Like, who can win you a match on their own. So if you can bowl well, what you're doing is essentially just negating, first of all, the batting attack of the other team. Plus, you're making it easy for your own batsmen as well. Like you said, like, if India didn't restrict England for that total in the last 5 overs, like 36 runs or something. If they don't do that, right, then the openers, like Ishan Kishan, doesn't get the freedom to just go and swing. Like, he knew that even if he got out, let's say if both the batsmen got out, even if Kohli got out, there was a chance that India could still chase that down because it was a gettable target on a decent batting wicket. You take that narrative out of it and make it, add another 30 runs to it. Like 60 in last 5 overs is like what standard nowadays, right? So you add another 24 runs to that, and now everything changes. The mentality changes, the fear factor comes in because you've lost the first match. You can't afford to go 2-0 down and stuff like that. So bowlers in general, like in T20, if you can deliver that kind of performance, like restrict a team for just 3 sixes in T20 in India, and the Indian batting lineup which they have, it's like, yeah, you know where the match was won both the times, right? Like, yes, batting is good, but then you are expected to do that. It's not unexpected. But if you are going to put up a good bowling performance like both the teams did, more often than not, you're going to win the match, and which has happened in both the matches. So hopefully the third match we'll see some good bowling as well.
Right. Dan,
I'm also going to interject here. I'm going to put this down to England not sort of putting out their best batting lineup. I mean, Besto in at 4. I mean, does he work in England's batting lineup? I mean, Besto's really that opening type batsman. He's worked quite well with Jason Roy in the past. You know, by putting in Besto at 4, you saw Morgan at 5, Stokes at 6. I think, you know, the team's a little bit out of balance, a little bit out of whack there.
Possibly, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, you know, they just couldn't take advantage in the end. I mean, you know, losing Josh Butler to Kumar, you know, lasting just 1 ball again. It just, there was no real payoff in the end. I mean,
would you put Butler down the order? And
well, I mean, they've got
top maybe.
Yeah, I'd put Butler in as your finisher.
He does that for the Rajasthan Royals as well, right? So it's not an alien situation for him, especially in India, where the T20 World Cup is also going to happen. So they could actually just move him down there. Yeah, that's fair. That's a good shot.
Yeah, no, I think that's what they've messed up. Do you think India India only used 5 bowlers in the last 2 matches? Do you think not having enough all-rounders could be a problem? Like having that depth in the bowling department could be a problem over, say, the length of a T20 tournament? Because we haven't seen India blood a lot of new players in the bowling department like they have over the Test series in Australia.
I think, see, here, I think it's a problem only till Ravindra Jadeja does not return to the side because currently he's injured. And once he makes a comeback, then, ideally you're going to have five specialist batsmen. Then at number six, you're going to have Hardik Pandya. And from number seven, you have Ravindra Jadeja, and then your bowlers come. So then you'll have, an extra bowling option, which makes it a total of six. And that's where I think the team will more or less have all options covered, provided there are no more injury concerns heading into the World Cup.
You know what? I actually have the exact opposite view. Not a view, but like an angle to it. Like, are India playing too many half and half players in terms of their roles? Like, are they not playing enough pure bowlers or pure batsmen? Like you say Jadeja, you say Hardik Pandya, you say Washington Sundar, Ashwin probably in test as well. In test matches, you can get away with it because that's the class of the players who are playing in that form. But in T20 or in ODIs, would that be a factor? Like, let's say the top three batsmen fail. Do we have enough batsmen down the order who are like pure batsmen who can play 20, 30 overs and stabilize the innings? That's something which I think India might have an issue with. And I don't think we have the resources to fall back if the top order fails. Like Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, if they don't fire and then another wicket here and there, it's very possible that you are possibly looking at Hardik Pandya having to play 30-60% of the innings. Can they do it though? That's the question. Like, are India actually going the other way, not having enough options in a pure batsman or a pure bowler sense? So that can be something which might be an issue and something to think about as well.
I'd like to see them get a bit radical, India, with their batting lineup. Get Pandya at the top of the order. First drop, number 3. Get him in there. Go after Archer.
Yeah.
Go after Anderson.
Possibly. Yeah, I mean, the thing with Pandya as well, right? Like he doesn't mind. I'm pretty sure if he'll bat the same way.
That's the great thing about him. He's very much like Kieran Pollard, Andre Russell. He's very West Indian about it.
Yeah, he is. Yeah. And that kind of helps India if they need him to have that role. But I think yesterday Kohli mentioned that they are trying to go away from the usual template of their side as well before the toss, and that's why you could see the new 2 debutants as well yesterday, Ishan Kishan and Yadav, who played in the middle order. He didn't get a chance to bat, I guess. Did he? I don't know. Did he?
Surya Kumar,
I think Kohli. He didn't, right? Yeah, he did. Yeah. So so they are trying new things, and I think this tournament they'll probably experiment a bit more, and we'll probably see a loss or two for India just because they were experimenting a bit too much or an experiment fails. But I think I would say it's worth the risk. Wouldn't you guys say? Would you guys take the risk if you were Virat Kohli? Let's say Sidharth already has the beard going, and Dan already has the mindset. So if you were Virat Kohli, I'll throw it to both of you one by one. Would you experiment a bit more, and if yes, what would you try out in this series before the World Cup?
Dan, would you like to go first?
Yeah, sure. Thanks, Sid. Pandya 3 for me would be 1. And I also want to see India find a left-arm paceman. You don't have that.
You have Natarajan. Currently,
there is an option, yeah.
But he's going to return for sure.
Yeah, I want a good left-arm paceman in there. I'd like to see Ishan Sharma get a run as well.
Oh,
but, yeah. I'd also see Virat Kohli open. Virat open would be fun in a T20 game. Why not?
That's a good
Just mix it up.
Imagine Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli.
Yeah, who do you open with? Is it Rohit Sharma or KL Rahul? Because in case you're opening, you're having Virat Kohli open with KL Rahul, then where does Rohit Sharma bat?
Well, that's what I'm saying is you go Rohit Sharma, Virat Kohli, Pandya, KL Rahul at 4. Stabilizes the innings. It's just something different. Why not? Try it. If it works, it works.
That's a good shot. I mean, I would pay to watch that.
Yeah, it'd be fun.
It's like either championship or bust kind of thing, right? You're either going to score 200 or probably wrap up for 100.
Experiment. Rishabh Pant, open the batting maybe in the T20. That would also be another one I'd also look at. Have a right.
Who do you
Yeah.
have? Let's say, who do you have at 4, 5, and 6?
That's a tough
You
one, buddy.
could have Pant, right? Like you have Pant in that, because if Kohli, Sharma, and Pandya are playing 1, 2, 3, the rest of them just follow in that.
They
As
just
KL
put
Rahul,
someone, yeah.
Pant, everyone else, yeah. Which I mean, now that you say that, I could actually, like, I really want them to do it. It's not going to happen, obviously,
Yeah, yeah.
but
Well,
still, would be fun.
let's put out a call to Ravi. Let's ask him, Ravi,
Oh yeah.
you want to change the batting order?
He's just going to tell them in his own voice that, guys, go and smash them.
It's Ravi. It's only England.
Yeah, it's only England. I wish it was that easy. Then they're the number 1 side in the world. So,
Okay, I'm gonna tell my 11. So yesterday, during the match, I was reading some of these comments from a few senior journalists on my Facebook account and a couple of experts also. That Indian team currently has, especially in the T20I format, India have a lot of enforcers or anchors in Virat Kohli, maybe Shreyas Iyer and KL Rahul. And this is where I think they felt that teams should be built around hitters and not anchors. So which actually brought me to a question that whether India actually need a total overhaul in this format in their playing 11. But I thought that this might not be the need of the hour in which you make those wholesale changes, because let's be very honest that this team has done really well in the past couple of years in this format. And my ideal playing 11 for this T20I World Cup would be I would have Rohit Sharma open, with Virat Kohli. And this is where I think KL Rahul will be very unlucky, if he misses out. Then at number 3, 4, and 5, I'm going to have maybe Ishan Kishan or Surya Kumar Yadav. Then you have Rishabh Pant and then Shreyas Iyer coming in. And from 6 to 11, I'm going to have a couple of bowling all-rounder options or a batting all-rounder options in Hardik Pandya and Ravindra Jadeja. And then you have a couple of pacers and 2 spinners. In pacers, let's say, if you're going with 3 options, then it's going to be Bhuvneshwar, Bumrah, and Natarajan. But of course, you're going to play in India. So maybe a total of 4 pacers, including Hardik Pandya, might not be the need of the hour. So yeah, here you go with Bhuvi and Bumrah, of course, a totally fit Bhuvi. And then you have 2 spinners, maybe Akshar Patel or Washington Sundar, or Akshar Patel and Yuzvendra Chahal, sorry. Or maybe, if Kuldeep Yadav does well in the IPL, he could also storm back into contention. So yeah, what I'm really excited about is that India have, a happy headache. And this is something that, is going to make that squad announcement very exciting, because I have a feeling that a couple of names which we would expect to be picked would actually be left out just because of the sheer competition.
Yeah, the talent pool is really big though, isn't it?
Absolutely.
It's going to be a very, very difficult decision.
Absolutely. Yeah. So my next question, Nikhil, I'm going to come to you and then to Dan. See, India haven't lost a T20I series since March 2019. You defeated West Indies at both home and away in 2019. Then you drew against South Africa. You beat Bangladesh. You defeated New Zealand 5-0. And then you beat Australia last year 2-1. So much of the credit has to go to India's top order for such consistency in the team's results. However, there is one top order batsman who has found the going tough, and that is Shikhar Dhawan. Yes, Virat Kohli made it clear before the start of the England series that Dhawan is going to be India's third opener. But do you think that Ishan Kishan, and I know it's just one flashy innings against a top side, and we tend to, let's say, not get carried away by it, but has he really put Dhawan on notice?
I mean, yeah, right. Like it's like you said in the previous question as well, like the talent pool is so big. There's so much competition there.
Yeah.
As a senior batsman like Shikhar Dhawan was, if you don't deliver, then of course there's going to be someone who's going to be looking at your place, right? And Ishan Kishan is the guy right now who's been given the chance and is delivered against England. Like at one point you have to think, is it even worth going back to Shikhar Dhawan? Because the future is clearly in front of you.
Yeah.
Like, would you rather not just continue with that rather than going one step behind? And although, see, personally, if you look at it, there's no right or wrong in this, because if you go with Shikhar Dhawan, there is the experience factor, there is talent, and he's delivered. He can on his day win the match on his own. With Ishan Kishan, there is this element of dynamic energy, and you don't know what you're gonna get from him. He could probably win you the match like yesterday, or he'll probably get out in the first over. Lack of experience and stuff like that will play a factor as well.
Yes.
I always believe that you should look ahead, and I like Ishan Kishan as a player, even though he's very unreliable. I don't think he's gonna probably score 350s in a row ever in the next year or so. I don't think he will. But having said that, if I'm not gonna give.
Stop. You just said he's not going to call through. Okay, and he scores 350s in a row. You have to shave off your beard and your mustache.
Yeah, that's fair, I guess. I mean, I want him to do it, but okay, my family's been pushing me to get the beard off as well. So yeah, I think it's a win-win. Yeah, let's do that. If he scores 350s in a row in the next 1 year or so, yeah,
any format doesn't matter. Any
format is fine. Yeah, any format's fine. I'll give him that. Yeah, but 3 consecutive 50s, and yeah. So let's just hope he doesn't score for 50 next match. Which, yeah, I mean that would be really weird if he goes on to score the next 50s in the next 2 matches. Then that would be really weird. But yeah, and yeah, the beard goes off for game 5 probably. But yeah, coming back to Dhawan though, like I would probably stick with Ishan Kishan and just give him a run. And let's say if he doesn't perform heading into the tournament like the World Cup, like if he doesn't have a good IPL as well, then you have all the reason to go back to Shikhar Dhawan, because you know exactly what you're getting from him.
Right.
And Kohli as a captain knows what he's getting from him, and this is a very good test for Ishan, with the England team being the number 1 and all the numbers and all the pressure around it, because even he knows, right? He knows what's at stake. Yeah. He performs and he probably makes the World Cup squad. He doesn't perform and he doesn't. So the pressure element of it is also there. He already has it even before the World Cup starts. So if he performs, there's no reason why he should not be considered ahead of Dhawan, and I think he will be considered in front of Dhawan as long as he doesn't have a bad patch heading into the World Cup.
Absolutely. Dan, same question to you.
I'm disappointed in you, Nikhil. How can you give up on Shikhar? It's kind of it's like I'm going to look to I've got this bright, shiny new toy, and I'm going to go with that.
I'll tell you why I would probably not stick with Shikhar, and this is like a very throwback kind of story. And I think Sidharth and I were watching the World Cup together. We were watching the World Cup, 2015 World Cup. It was India versus Australia, and he threw away his wicket, which arguably cost us the World Cup. Not arguably, it cost us the World Cup. He was playing, we were like 13 overs, 70 or something, chasing down a total, and he was striking the ball like he was a man possessed, and then he goes on and throws his wicket for what? The ball wasn't even close to him. He reaches out and throws. So I've never liked Shikhar Dhawan since. So I mean, that's just so you know why I've given up on him. Just like a backstory, you know now that my dislike for him is justified.
If I'm to do a research paper on this, then it's going to be a very extreme fan reaction. I'm
just going to say, like, having Dhawan and Shikhar Dhawan and Rohit Sharma is kind of like the equivalent of like Warner and Finch, like Haynes and Greenwich, like Hayden and Langer. You just don't have one without the other, and both are serial winners. So you know what you're going to get. They're going to win. And that's the end of it. And I think you go with Dhawan, especially into this last tournament in India, because you have that edge in the home conditions. And you get the right hand, left hand at the top of the order as well. And, England probably are not at their strongest right now. And it'll be tournament plays a different thing, a lot more pressure.
Absolutely.
And you just disappoint me giving up on your heroes. Well, one game.
Well, he cost us a World Cup then. I'll never forgive him for that.
No,
How
you know.
do you think I feel about Glenn Maxwell sometimes?
Oh man,
And that would be a very frequent occurrence as well, right? Like every time Maxi walks out, he'll either win you the match or lose you the match. There's no in between for him.
It's like watching my own child play. Yeah. I don't know what I call him.
I think that's where there's this one statement from Ian Chappell that I really liked about his on his in his latest column that was I think published on Sunday in our news website. That Rishabh Pant has won you three test matches now, and it takes a lot of time, or maybe a lot of players don't even get to contribute that much in their team's wins. So I think what I'm trying to say in this respect is that Rishabh Pant, Maxwell, these are basically the same kind of players. Once they are actually in form, they're going to win you the match.
Yep.
But if that's not the case, then we know how badly they can fail, and how well they can perform. It's just two extremities that you have in as far as both these players or such players are concerned. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, you are judged by your results.
Absolutely.
It's not the approach, is it? Like, think about Rishabh Pant reverse sweeping James Anderson, 88 runs, and he's reverse sweeping James Anderson in a test match, right? Like, what logic does that make? You get out to that, and everyone's out there with their swords and that was a very stupid decision and inexperience and all that. It came off, and now he's a genius, right? That's the difference between the two. Like, if you get the result, even if it's just by sheer luck, you are considered a hero, and if you get out, then you are a villain. Then that's the way they play. Like, Maxi plays that way. Rishabh Pant is going to play that way. They're going to get out. Like, sometimes it's going to happen. Just that you can't just stop playing the way you want to play, right? That's the natural game. If you want to go and hit the ball like Shahid Afridi did, like he did, like there's so many people. Andrew Simons like to play as he like to play. Like Michael Hussey always says that he never listened to him when he was at the other end. Huss was like, just calm down, relax a bit, and Simon was like, I don't know what you're talking about, I'm just gonna play the way I play. So that's the way some players play. Chris Gale, so many players you can name, and if it comes off, that's the thing which makes you great, and if it doesn't, then people slack you for it, and that's the game.
Anyway, I think Glenn Maxwell's been sweeping longer than since Rashad Pant's been babysitting for
Definitely. Maxi probably started the whole trend as well, right? Like playing unorthodox shots in non-T20 matches, probably. That's the best way to put it. I'm pretty sure he has reverse sweep in Test cricket as well.
He might have, surely.
No, he definitely has. I don't even need to look. I'm telling you for a fact he would have. That's the kind of player he is. I would be shocked if he didn't do it on his debut or something. So that's the level of confidence I have that he has done it.
Okay, guys. Just to close this discussion, a quick question to both of you. Final prediction for this T20I series between India and England. Dan, I'm going to start with you.
Kiss of death, my friends. 4-1 to India. 4-1, because I think England are a false number one. They're a false number one. They win one game, suddenly we're going to be champions of the world. And let I remind you, gentlemen, they didn't win a World Cup. They tied. It's like, we'll give this trophy to the home team because they haven't had one, and we feel sorry for them. Kind of like when you get the most improved trophy. I'm going to say India will come out and smash them like guitars.
Nice. Nikhil?
I'll probably go with 3-2, and the one loss coming for 3-2 to India, and the one loss coming because we'll probably fail in one of the experiments which we do, and I mean it's going to happen. It might even happen that we win the series 3-1, and then the last match is just trying out different things. So I'm thinking in that sense. Although I started with a 4-1 prediction initially before the series, that quickly went south. So I was like, yeah, and let's back up a bit and go for 3-2, safer. We'll still win the series, and yeah, we'll see some experiments happening. Hopefully, Ravi Shastri looks at this video, takes a bit of some of the tips from Dan, not all probably. He will take all if possible, but yeah, and that would make for an exciting match.
We're going to get Asher on just for a chat. Asher, you're out. Yeah, Asher would be good.
Yeah.
And Drake would be good.
It is going to happen soon. If we continue our discussions this way, I'm sure, we'll have some good guests.
Yeah, Sehwag, another one, get him fired up.
Sehwag can speak for the entire hour himself, actually. He doesn't need any of us. He'll just keep rambling on. I'm pretty sure he'll be excited to do it as well. He could tweet the whole thing, live tweet the whole thing if he needs to. He's a character. What do you reckon, by the way, Sidharth? Like, what would be the prediction? What are you going with?
It's going to be 3-2 or 4-1 to India. But yes, of course, I agree with you that there could be, another maybe another blip, primarily because of the fact that India are rotating, too many players. But I think that's fine. That's also keeping an eye on the World Cup. And I think the way England are really shaping up, I'm actually agreeing with Dan here that I really don't understand the role of Johnny Bairstow at 4. So either, you shift Butler in the middle order and have Bairstow open, or you replace Bairstow with Sam Billings. So yes, there is a bit of the, juggle because Owen Morgan is also batting too low down the order. I think for me, number 4 is a very suitable position for him. And then Ben Stokes, same can be said about him. He should actually bat at maybe 5 or, actually, at max 5. So yeah, there's a bit of a problem there. But although, England have really got the results in the last couple of years, just like India, they've hardly lost a T20I series, did well against most of the nations. So yeah, anything can happen. It's going to be a tight contest. So of course, can't take England lightly. So yes, India, of course.
No, we can take England lightly. Come on.
Oh no, man, definitely not.
We can take England lightly. Like, have you seen how Kohli reacts? Now he's got a 50 as well. Like, how long has it been since Kohli got a 50? And now he's got a 50 as well. Now there's no stopping him now. Like, he's just unleashing it now. He's just going to go into gears and gears, 50, 60, 70, 92, and then not 100 though. He's not going to get 100 for sure.
You're right.
Has he ever done a T20 100? T20 100? I don't think has he.
He's yet to get a T20 100.
Yeah, that's not happening.
Who knows? He's
going to get it in the T20 World Cup final against England. Oh no, we are facing Australia in the final anyway. We are facing Australia in the final anyway. So England won't make it to the finals.
You never know. England have done well in the ICC tournaments in the last 4-5 years. So yeah, there's a good chance.
They've done well in a tournament that they hosted at home, and they got, a few favorable umpires calls. Let's see them go out in the real world.
And just as a reminder to the viewers, Dan, can you tell me who won the tournament, or rather tied the tournament? Did they even win? Did anyone win the World Cup? The last one?
No. I'm going to say no. I mean, unless it's like a clear, definitive winner. I think having a super over for a World Cup final, it just defeats the purpose. I think you go back and you replay the final. I don't think you can have a super over like that ever again. I thought it was appalling. And, New Zealand were rocked. I mean, the incorrect call came out and they were rocked.
They were just lucky that it was New Zealand and not some big, powerful nation, or there would have been riots. Just the way they were treated, because that was sad, right? I mean, we probably have a big discussion about it someday, but
sure.
if you think about it, it was pretty sad the way New Zealand lost that final. I mean, they didn't actually lose. That's the worst part. If you lose a final, that's one thing. Even if it's by Duckworth Lewis, that's one thing. But they literally did not lose the final. It was tied. So, yeah.
And that's where the trophy. And that's where the trophy should have been shared. Something I also felt, when that ended. So yeah, of course, that's a discussion for a later date. But sure, but I assure both of you that we will have a very, very exhaustive discussion on this.
We should. It'll be a fun one as well, because none of us are England fans or New Zealand fans, so we have nothing to lose, all to gain. So
we are cricket fans. We are cricket fanatics.
The purists.
Purists.
Beauty match.
Yeah.
Yeah.